being in Baltimore, what does it mean for the team, franchise, the players being in a situation like this against Indiana with a lot of things moving?
Yeah, I was just mentioning earlier that you have Indiana, which is a great state, basketball, and a lot of history there, and then the DMV, second to none in terms of the number of players and teams and coaches who've come out of here. So to have that, to share this stage, and we are sharing it. We're mindful of our place in sports, women's sports in particular. So it's cool to have a number of people coming out and supporting these two teams and the communities that they represent, and I'm hoping it's a really good game.
So before the season, I asked you how Lucy Olson was doing. She was trying to make the team. Now that she's made it, played in some of these games, how do you decide how she's been playing?
Yeah, I mean, just rookie thrown into the fire. She's able to make shots, which is huge for us. We need to balance. Talk about this front court. We need to balance it with perimeter play. She's a sponge. That's the biggest thing about her is she has a skill set. She's got the mid-range game. She's stretching it out to three. But her wanting to get better, which fits in well with a lot of our players, if not all. But she's as aggressive as anyone in terms of trying to get better and learn quickly, and that bodes well because rookies, it's a tough go. They just stopped playing 6 weeks ago in terms of their NCAA season. And now they're thrown into a whole nother level, and you got to learn fast. And she's doing the best she can with that.
How do you find the journey of coaching the team this
I'm having the time of my life. Like I tell them, people think I'm crazy. I don't know if my bosses believe me, but I'm just really enjoying this. Slim and Steph are our vets that I really rely on a ton. And then there's just a world of youth in between. We're the youngest team by a mile, but there's an opportunity here for us to show all the habits that we look to form in training camp, who we are as people, who we are as players, and to test that against the best athletes in the world and best coaches. So for me, it's been a joy. I mean, just a joy. And obviously we want some wins to come along the way, and so we'll work our tails off, every single week.
I think I'm supposed to use the microphone, so I use the microphone. I see one of the bracelets on your wrist is black and orange, and your old stomping grounds and the class of your players has produced quite a few coaches up and down the ranks of the sport. What do you think was in the water back then that led to you, Mitch Henderson, and others all succeeding at the same time?
We all had the benefit of, being coached by, one of the greatest coaches in the game, and then Pete Carril, and all of his assistants, who were magnificent people and became like father figures to us. So whether that's Armand Hill, John Thompson III, Bill Carmody, Howie Levy, Joe Scott, Bill Carmody, you just keep going on and on. And I'm just talking about the coaches that I worked with, who were my assistants. So there are other great ones as well. And so I think just that culture of really caring about basketball, it being transformative. I think that's a big thing that I want to note, is that it's truly a transformative basketball and student athlete experience at Princeton. And you just kind of want to, it's just been years and years trying to recreate that, just to be perfectly blunt. That's why I'm enjoying this gig so much.
Hi, Coach. You mentioned at shoot around that this Fever team is still really tough, even without a player like Caitlin Clark on the floor. When it comes to slowing down their offense, what are the sorts of things that you're keying in on defensively that will be really important for you guys to come out with a win tonight?
Yeah, you just nailed it. I mean, they have the #1 pace in the league, so slowing them down is key. They're constantly on the aggressive. Obviously, it has a good amount to do with Caitlin, but it takes 5 to tango. So they get out and go, and I think their pace will be very close to how they normally play. They really want to score inside. AB is such a tremendous weapon. She's a wonderful player, and they're cutting and offensive rebounding, and so they're just really potent, in terms of scoring. So we're going to have to contend with that for 40 full minutes. And if they get a lot of things easy, it's going to be tough for us. If we can make them work, we're in a much better position, and then we can get out and go, which is something we want to do. That's our brand of basketball as well.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Rob Knox from the Next. I know you mentioned a little while ago about playing in Baltimore. What were some of the logistical differences for you all to make this a home, to play home? Like, obviously, I know you were in Phoenix a few days ago.
Yeah.
Came home, practice, travel. What was some of those logistics like? If you could just share some of those specifics, please.
Yeah, I think the big one that I can share is just that we came today. We didn't treat it as like a road trip in the sense of like staying overnight and all that stuff. We felt confident that we could get here in a good amount of time, which we did. A little bit of rain, but we got here game day. Had a nice shoot around in terms of some of the things that we wanted to do and be directed, but also get loose and have some fun. And then relax a bit at the hotel and come on over. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just the game day travel. But I don't expect that to be too impactful or negative. That's the only thing that jumps out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll go to Zoom. Anthony, you've stressed the importance throughout the season of taking care of the ball, and I'm just curious, after you watched the film from the Phoenix game with those turnovers, what were kind of your takeaways about the types of turnovers you were committing and how you can limit those?
Yeah, full credit to Phoenix. They really played hard. I think it's a combination of their aggressive defense and frankly the way the game was called. It was really, really physical. And so just part of the learning curve. We just got hit in the mouth a couple times. But I'd also say, we can do a better job in terms of putting our players in spots where we can give them some press releases and some different personnel there as well. So it's a combination of some things that we learned, and it all started with, I do want to start with just Phoenix playing hard, defensively. So with all of that, I think it's part of the journey of just give away 30 possessions and you're still in the game. It's actually kind of a miracle that was a single possession game down the stretch, but obviously we would love to have 15 of those back and have 15 more possessions for our young players to develop against one of the better teams in the league. So we let ourselves down there, but we'll learn, and I'm expecting that we improve moving forward.
I want to ask philosophically, not specific to the Phoenix game, but on the West Coast trip, there seemed to be possessions in crunch time where you had a couple shot clock violations, and then there were also possessions where you went pretty quick, based on the score. Maybe some other folks would slow it down. So I'm curious, as you're trying to play fast, does that hold late in games, when maybe you're up 2 or up 3, or does clock management come into your system there at all?
Yeah, really good question. I think that's the dance that you have to play, and that's the dance that our team will figure out as we go. We're playing some teams that have figured that out already. They're well established in terms of like skill sets, roles. We literally today, I'm getting our roster, fully healthy today. Game 6. So, I'm just thinking of Vegas in particular, a team that just like kind of knows what they want to do. There's some coaching there, don't get me wrong, but they kind of know what they want to do down the stretch. Our players are figuring out what they can do, let alone, what we want to do collectively. And I'm here for it. Can't wait. So I guess I would just say there is pace, style, identity, and how much we have to be mindful of time and situation late in games. That's all very obvious. There's also the underbelly of just, we're young, and that's just real. Like, you have to just, identify that. And the youth means figuring out what you can and cannot get away with individually, and then as a team, and then jump to the next step. And you can't fast forward that. There's no quick fix for that whatsoever.
What do you think was most successful for you guys tonight?
Yeah, I think we, respected our opponent. They really did a good job against us in the preseason. The Fever did, and we faced some pressure coming off of the Mercury that we had to learn from. So I just thought we were up for the challenge of playing hard, playing through some physicality, and really just kind of keeping the energy focused on us. So it's a really, very, very good team. They are, and I feel like we're showing a little bit of something ourselves.
Kira, you told me pregame how this was kind of like a reset for you. Came out hot in the first half there. Was there anything you were trying to prove there in those first couple minutes?
Just wanted to be out on the floor. Like, I just want to play. So just came in, me and Coach Clinton just been focused on one bite at a time. I told him I have big mouth, so I like big bites. But yeah, that's my motto, just being aggressive, but knowing that it comes with time.
Slim, you had Kira for
Yo, that's crazy. He told me shout him out, so he didn't say what way.
Kira for a full game this time. You also have Kiki. What's it like having two versatile posts like that you can just throw the ball in and know that they're going to go to work?
I just love that we can just throw it in there, exactly what you said. Let them go to work. Coach made us aware, like, to begin this game, like, we want to see how they can guard the paint on the inside, if they can go one-on-one, if they're going to send help. Like, we trust that our bigs, especially in Karen and Kiki, they can create for themselves, but they can also create for others. So sky's the limit for those two. I love having them in the game, and I love having Kira back, because that's what we get.
About Kira being back, coming off a concussion, do you see anything from her specifically tonight in this performance?
I literally, you saw what she said, like, she wanted to play, and she has that energy in practice. What you guys seeing on the court is just a byproduct of her being patient and her understanding that, like, when it's time, it's time. And today was one of those moments where she got in and she found that flow early, and we kept feeding her, and she kept producing. She's much more than just scoring, but to just see her finally, get back into rhythm and put the ball in the basket, it was great to watch.
Shakira, Rob Knox here from the Next. Can you just describe the vibe out there tonight and the fans and just playing here in Baltimore tonight? What did that mean? How special was that?
Yeah, it was a dope experience, coming in and shoot around and, just taking in the arena. It's always great playing in a bigger crowd. That experience is dope. So it was nice to come out here and just have that support for sure.
Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Brittney, this one's for you. You had the assist on one of Lucy's threes. I admittedly came down here to write a feature on her tonight, but what have you seen from Lucy so far and her contributions, including a couple of shots like that really put it in Indiana's back for a while?
Lou stays ready. Like, she has a great attitude, positive attitude, whether she touched the floor or not. She's probably one of the first people coming out to the court to high-five you. First person when you get on that bench to tell you that you are right, like, keep going. But credit to her that when she gets in the game, she makes a difference. Like, when she subs in, her scouts just say that. She comes in and she puts points on the table, she defends, she can handle the ball. There's another ball handler out there. So it's one of those things where, as a rookie, she understands her role, but she's an amazing player. And anytime we put her in a position where she's on the floor, she succeeds in any way.
This team as a whole plays so free and so loose. Doesn't seem to care what anybody else, thinks about them. And even for the young players to do that who are so new to this, what's that say to you?
It starts from the head, and down. That's just our culture. It starts with our COs to our GMs to our head coach, like, all the way down. We all carry the standard of, we're just going to come out and we're going to be Mystics basketball. This is going to be our culture. And that's it. Like, it does not matter what other people are doing. Coach always tells us it doesn't matter what the score is, win or loss. We still play Mystics basketball. We still show up as a team. We show up as a sisterhood. And that's just across the board.
Hi, Coach. What was challenging about facing Indiana even without Caitlin Clark?
They're good, right? So I've said it before the game. Like, Caitlin's really good, but Kelsey and AB, Hull, Sophie, Sydney, Howard. This is a team that a lot of people, I feel will threaten for the league title, and for good reason. So very, very talented team, and I think without Caitlin, she has a lot of usage there, but they still play really fast. They play inside. They cut hard, and they dig in defensively. So we feel like we had to play well in order to beat them, and thankfully we did.
And for Slim, you led in points and assists today. How do you figure out that balance between scoring and facilitating?
Well, I gotta stop turning it over so bad. I probably have more. No, but credit to my teammates. Yes, teams know I'm gonna go to the basket. I'm one of the high usage players. There's no secret, right? But then it comes a responsibility where when you do have the ball in your possession so much, you should be able to create for others. And I actually look for that a lot more than I probably should. I get in trouble for it, but it's really good knowing that when I do create, I have somebody like a Shakira, a Kiki, a Sony, a Steph. Like I could do the whole roster, that's going to put the ball in the basket, which holds the defense accountable, and they don't get to just stay and watch me all night. They gotta, prepare for everybody and know that anybody at any given moment can go for 10 plus. It doesn't matter if it's me or not me.
This is a question for both of you, but
Wait, both of us, three of
oh,
us.
sorry, there is three of you. This is for Brianna. Not Brianna. I'm sorry, Brittney, and then also Kier. Question for both of you. First, Kier, I wanted to start with you. Just playing in an area that you know so well. I know you played in the DMV area, but what can you say about Baltimore basketball? Just understanding that how much people love the game here. And, you played not that far away.
Yeah, I mean, it's up for discussion whether we include Baltimore in DMV sometimes. No shade, all shade. So I had to put that out there. But
Can I leave right now?
Can I leave? You catch it straight.
No, growing up, playing in DC, playing in Maryland, I talked about it earlier, like the DMV culture in itself, we all carry ourselves a certain way. We have a vibe, we have a, energy when it comes to being an athlete from here. And, we just take pride in that. So it's shown throughout the whole DMV, and that's just something that's exciting for, young athletes that are coming and watching us, and, the professionals that's made a name for themselves, so.
And then Brittney, this one's for you. I think I heard you say you had family in the area.
Dang, I'll be listening.
Oh, yeah.
They just gonna know that I didn't invite them home. Sorry, cousin.
But what have people said about Baltimore that that you're like, yeah, this city, they love basketball here and they'll ride for their teams?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's like any place, but not any place at the same time. Like Baltimore, the fans go hard for their sport, especially basketball. And my cousins, them being from here, they were the reasons why I even picked up a ball. So there's something special in that, and just understanding, the history that goes behind the women hoopers, obviously men too, but like the women hoopers that have come out of Baltimore, and just being able to bring this game here is so much more than basketball. Now we've been able to show the little girls that are closer to Baltimore that, okay, you have a possibility to go to the league. We would love for them to come all the way to DC, but that's the whole point of us trying to expand and everything. But in itself, just being able to have a performance like we did in front of little girls, little guys too, but like in front of little girls, just helping them see the WNBA that much closer to them.
Coach Johnson, I want to start with you. You mentioned earlier, you said this team is starting to show something. There's a lot of fans that were in here tonight that may not follow Mystics basketball. What do you think they learned about this team?
I think Slim touched on it just in terms of the sisterhood is real for us. So, I know that doesn't come down to necessarily style of play. I would say with that, we want to play fast. We want to share the game. We like the fact that we can move the ball. And as Slim said, there's different people that can hurt you, and hopefully we're doing our part defensively. You just can't be any good without defending. But along the way, just a sisterhood, a connection. I just told him, 5-10 minutes ago, it just fills me with joy to see them interact with each other, appreciate each other, pick each other up after a loss, celebrate each other's successes. It's just like something that I want and pray and hope that lasts well beyond the season, to be honest. And that's what I'm seeing. It's just a fun thing to be a part of, and that's what you will see if you watch closely. That's what you'll see from the Mystics.
Thank you. Slim and Shakira, I want to ask you, because you were both here last season, that connectedness seems to also be extending to Coach Johnson. What's it been like playing under him?
Well, I'm trying to get my minutes to get, my coaching from him, but
I'm catching strays all over the place. All over the place. I need a bulletproof vest the next time I come in.
Help me. Oh, headshots, goddamn.
Chill. But no, for real, like the energy, I've been here, this is year 4 for me. It's just been totally different. It's something that I've been waiting for, for pretty much my whole career. It's just someone who can uplift, believes in you, and just that positive energy that just radiates from him. Like, we all want to carry that, and we all just want to go out there and really just hoop for each other. So just shout out to Coach. I know I've been getting a little strays with him, but now he's really set the tone and set the standard. Like Slim said, it started from the higher ups, of course, but they really brought in a great dude who's come in here and really just taking the energy for DC right now.
We'll take questions on Zoom. All right, go to Zoom. Jen, go ahead.
Look like it's Jen.
Hey, everybody. Starting with Slim and Kira, I wanted to.
Hold on, Jen, I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's.
You get on my nerves. You're not to say it like that.
She might not can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, there we go.
You still can't hear me?
No.
All right, now you're good.
Can't hear.
Now you're good.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Slim and Kira, for both of you guys, there was kind of a sequence with about 3 minutes left that I'd love if you can walk me through. If you remember, Kira, you had that block on Aaliyah Boston, and then Slim, you came down and had that layup at the other end. If you can walk me through what you remember from that sequence, and did that feel like a big swing for you guys? I guess a 4-point swing there.
Yes, I do remember that series because right before that block, Kira had a one-on-one situation with Aaliyah Boston where we felt as a team, we're not going to go as far as saying that it wasn't a call or anything, but we thought that it might have been a foul there. But like Mystics basketball, like we're told, we keep playing, and Kira came right back down and went right at it, and Aaliyah Boston respectfully went, to the basket, and Kira got the block. And when we got in the huddle, we talked about what we were going to do in transition. We talked about doing a drag because everybody's up high, seeing if we can get to the basket. Once Lexi Hull jumped the screen, Aaliyah set it a beautiful re-screen, and I got downhill for the layup and one. And that gave us our momentum. We're starting to realize as a team to string along these possessions, especially late in the quarter, and just execute. Kira literally said when we were coming out in this last, that was like 3 minutes and like 30 seconds left. She was like, let's turn it up. Like, obviously we want to, go through our offensive possessions, but at the same time, if we got to go ahead and take it, because we just want to take the game away. Let's just finish the game right here. We ain't got to wait till the last 30 seconds. Let's finish them in the last 3 minutes.
Here for you, how good did that block feel?
I was just making sure I didn't get technical.
That's honest. That's honest.
And Sydney, for you, just overall with the end of game execution, I was kind of asking you about that pregame. How would you evaluate it in this one from, say, about that play on?
Yeah, I think Slim and Kira just kind of spoke on the example of we're learning about each other, and like they're creating, it's improv, and they're creating their own chemistry at a time where we have like Kira might be one of the most veteran players after Steph and Slim, and this is year 4. You know what I mean? So it's like, it just takes time. But to have these games and to battle and play so hard and to have close games and be able to kind of work their way through it, invaluable. So there's a lot of faith and belief from me and them, and you can see why. I mean, you can see why, and I'm not gonna lie to them. You know, I'm gonna let them know when, you know, we're not quite holding the standard, but I'm gonna love them up when they show off, and they do it just about every day, to be honest. And so why not in the last 4 minutes of this game? It's no different than any other time.